Hey YouTube, it's Alicia here, and I'm here to give you a wrestling talk. So if you see me glance over, I have my notebook on the side of the stories. We have actually two WWE stories, well, a couple of WWE stories and an official AEW story. So we're going to be talking, my first time talking about AEW. So let's start with the AEW. We got two AEW stories. So let's talk about the first AEW story, and that is Nick Wayne. So if you haven't heard of Nick Wayne is this 16-year-old independent wrestler. Nick Wayne is also a wrestling legacy. The last name should give you who he is. And he's just recently signed a contract with AEW at 16 years old. Okay. I'm going to say what some of the people on Twitter were saying. They are going, whoa, this young boy at 16 years old caught the eye of AEW. But the way that it was told, it was like Orange Cassidy came out after one of his matches and handed him an AEW contract. Well, when I heard that, I'm going, how can a 16-year-old these days get a contract? As we know, Rey Mysterio was 16 when he first started off in wrestling, thanks to his uncle, Rey Mysterio Sr. Senior, excuse me. But I'm not too surprised from AEW. I'm not. Now, I'm wondering from a parent's point of view. Let me say it. From a parent's point of view, I want to say it again. From a parent's point of view, I hope his parents had a lot to do with his contract signing. The reason I say this is I'm wondering, okay, they like say, okay, he signs the contract, but also the parents sign the contract even though he's under the age of 18. And my thing is, what type of shows would he be doing? What type of programming would he be doing? Because I can actually see this young man go up against Taz's son, Hook, because they said this young man is pretty good. And I actually went on YouTube and looked him up, and he has some pretty good matches. So I can't wait to see that. But that's going to be an interesting. That was just an interesting story. That's just an interesting signing to me. That was just let me just say, a very interesting story. A very interesting signing. Staying with AEW. Let me hear a comment talk about Cody Rose. Now, as y'all heard, Cody Rose is a free agent, and also Brandy Rose, but we're going to be talking more on Cody Rose. So Cody Rose is a free agent, but if he had signed a new contract, a new 2-year contract, Cody Rose would have got a little bit of a pay raise. Okay, okay, so negotiations. So now let's go talk about some potential WWE rumors doing with Cody Rose. So it is some WWE rumors going around that WWE might pursue Cody Rose to make a return to WWE for Wrestlemania. Now, what was the cause? They want him to do a programming with Seth Rollins. Now, I think that would be a good idea, but it's other wrestlers in WWE I can see him go up against. If you look at Cody Rose then and now, I like the Cody Rose now. I like the Cody Rose now because, one, he could go up against any superstar. So think about it. He's one of the top superstars. He was one of several top superstars of AEW. Come on, why would WWE might want him to return? One, to get their ratings back up. Just think about it. You can get a program with, like I said, they want a program with Cody Rose versus Seth Rollins. So that will be a good programming. You could get Cody Rose versus Bobby Lashley, Cody Rose versus Drew McIntyre, Cody Rose versus Roman Reigns, and many others. But now I'm not putting him up in there in this particular category. I think Cody Rose has elevated himself to where he could go for like a WWE title belt or a Universal title belt. I'm just saying. Now, if they offered Brandy Rose a new contract, could I see Brandy Rose in the potential top women's title belt contendership? Maybe so. I can probably see that. But with the Cody Rose thing, I think that I just listed, let's just say I listed matches we could get. And I would want to see the Cody Rose and Seth Rollins match. But another match when it comes to Cody Rose, I would love to see, and I don't know if everybody else would want to see it, is if Cody Rose came back. I would love to see a good potential feud storyline with Cody Rose versus Randy Orton, because that makes more sense. Because I want y'all to think about it. When it was back in the day, it was Cody Rose and Ted DiBiase Jr. and Randy Orton, and I think. And I can't think they go up that. I think they called themselves Evolution. It was something. Legacy. Yeah, there we go. Legacy. They call themselves Legacy. And if you remember, when they was in this group, they attacked the McMahons. They attacked Triple H, Vince McMahon, and this was my favorite match. For some reason, this was my favorite feud. They attacked Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Shane McMahon and Stephanie all at once. But okay, but I just think that's that. Now another person I have to come and talk about is Rocka C. Now Rocka C was just signed to WWE. Now that was a pretty good match and everything. To hear that she got signed, I've been talking about her for about 3 years, y'all, and she's a former Ring of Honor champion, and who would know? And then she just also appeared on NXT 2.0, so that is going to be a pretty good match. Now another thing before I go is WWE is revamping 205 Live. Now 205 Live will go through a name change, and the name change they are going to be doing is called NXT Level Up. So it's sort of like NXT version of SmackDown. So I cannot wait to see where that's going to go. That's all I have time for, y'all. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.